Hey, if you're new here, I'm Danny. I make videos about creative tools and guitar gear, cause I love that shit. My goal is to create more and consume less. I catch myself scrolling too much on social, and I can feel my tenseness rise. The problem is, being creative is hard. You can't always just flip a switch and turn it on. I've booked a whole day off, a whole week off, just to be productive and come up with nothing. You have to set yourself up for success, give yourself ways to kickstart it, and one of my tricks is you need a prompt. If you're not familiar with my other creative gig, Retrologists, that's me and my best friend hanging out and spotlighting creative people. And we have a monthly sketch prompt when the audience decides what we draw on a live stream. And it's so damn fun because it's stress-free. If you have a prompt, you don't have to worry about what to do. It's more about how you're gonna pull it off. You wouldn't write a book before you decide on the subject you're gonna write about. Writing music is the same thing. If you sit down with a blank project, it's very easy to meander, but once you've picked a genre of music, you can look at other songs in the genre that have a feel you're after, establish what motifs and feelings you want to impart on the song. It's like creating a plan. If there's a specific sound or riff you've come up with your instrument, you can write around that, and it's like putting puzzle pieces together to make it work around that idea you have. That's why you see a lot of other musical gear YouTubers, reviewers, whatever you want to call it, writing some pretty cool songs surrounding a cool new product they're demoing, because the product is the prompt. That's what they have to write the song around. They have some parameters to work with. Now I thought I had figured all this out. Then my next prompt arrived. And guys, I might have met my match. What on earth is a ring modulator? This is the Dr. Scientist Phreak. So what is a ring modulator? A ring mod mixes two signals together. The carrier signal, in most cases, is just an oscillator, a single tone generator. The second signal is your modulator. That is your guitar signal or whatever else is going into the pedal. It mixes them in a special way, which cancels out frequencies and creates this dissonant, clang. It's really robot-like.
Okay, let's go.
Ring mod is an interesting effect to work with because depending on what the carrier signal is, you're gonna hear the drone of the note, which may or may not be in key. Ring modulation is a really unique effect type. Lots of people love it, and lots of people straight up do not get it. So I'm a little bit worried I'm not able to make music with this thing. So let's make a plan together. We've got the prompt. We want to make a song that features ring mod prominently. The first thing I would do is do my research, learn about what it does, how it works, what others have done with it. So I've chosen these parameters for a song. I want to feature the quintessential standard ring mod sound. I want to make it normal sounding somehow. Can it be less weird? And I want to take advantage of the unique features that the Phreak has. It has a couple things under the hood that are pretty cool. And now that we're thinking about ring mod, we're thinking computery sounds. When I think computer, I think 80s drums, I think synthy, synthwave, 80s bouncy bass, and it's 30 degrees outside, so naturally, I'm thinking about the beach.
Buy a ring mod, even if you don't know how to use it. Maybe you should buy a ring mod, even if you don't know how to use it.
Pretty fun, huh? Now, by no means was that a finished song. That was just me having a little bit of fun. But there was some sounds in that video that I was pretty happy with. I was pretty stoked about it. So let's go through them with my computer. Here's the main intro bit here. So the bass is just a simple bouncing bass, but there is a little bit of ring mod on there. Just enough to give it like a little bit of a synth-like quality. Now, one of the cool things about Phreak is that you can actually find the frequency if you'd like. So if I just... You can find the frequency that's tuned to the note. In this case, it's a B, but you can actually just hit the note and just hold it down and it will detect the note you're playing and tune the oscillator to the note. And that's basically what I did for the quintessential rig mod sound. Is the main riff goes like this. So it's just like a weird dissonant note thing with delay, but it's enough to just kind of give it a little bit of like bounce and fun to it. Now for the guitars, you have that drone note. Now that weird like sweep thing is just basic ring mod, tuned to B. But the chords, you notice there's a little bit of tremolo on them. So remember, one of the parameters was I want to make it sound normal. What's a normal sound you can do? Now with ring mod, if you tune the oscillator down really low, it's basically an LFO, a low frequency oscillator. And once it gets down to those really, really, really slow oscillations, it basically becomes a tremolo. That's all the guitar part is, the drone, the tremolo chords, and a little sweepy thing. So for the solo, again, pretty typical ring mod sound, but what's cool about ring mod is it loves distortion in front of it. So I had this Ren and Cuff tall font, you've seen it on the videos before, I love this thing. Listen to the difference in the tone of the Phreak. So now I'm going to tune it to B again. That's just the Phreak going into light overdrive. Now here it is with the tall font Russian. It's sort of like an octave fuzz, but the octave doesn't change its note. It's always static. So it kind of gives you that octave-like feel, but in a ring moddy weird sort of way. Now for the solo, I brought the mix down to about 50%. So it just adds a little bit more interest. Right? A little bit more interest. It's kind of cool. I like that. So it goes like this. Now, if you recall, the third challenge was to use the unique features to the Phreak in the song. So in the tremolo chords, I actually had the reverb added on to the Phreak. So if you hold this button down and you go over to here, reverb, fun. And for the solo, there's actually a bit crusher in it. So if you hold it down, nice. Couple that with distortion, 50% mix. Again, just adding a little bit of spice into the sound. Having a bit crusher in this thing is kind of interesting because it's already kind of like a robot-y sound, so a bit crusher just kind of makes sense. It's fun. Now I'm only scratching the surface of what Phreak can do. It also has an envelope mode, which will change the frequency of the oscillator based on your envelope of your guitar, how hard you play. So it can get kind of wonky. There's also an LFO mode that you can tap tempo in the speed, which again will vary the carrier frequency's pitch based on an LFO, so it'll waver. In the right context with the bit crusher added, kind of is this lo-fi, kind of warbly tape thing that's just extra weird. Honestly, midway through making this video, while trying to come up with an idea for the song that I did, I was gonna pivot and talk about how giving up is cool too. I find when I play video games and I hit like a very frustrating part, I turn it off. I come back later. Generally, that's enough for me to just think critically and reset to try again, or just give up. That's totally cool. Being an adult is knowing when enough is enough. Look at the Amish. The creative prompt of this video was to make a song with a ring mod in it, which was a lot tougher for me creatively than I thought it would be. But it did get me thinking differently, and that is how we spark creativity. If you tell a painter that you need to paint with a specific color of brush, it's gonna steer their painting a bit. Now, ring mod is a weird brush to paint with as a musician. One of the epiphanies I had is that if you're predominantly a guitar player and you want to make a song work and feel right, you can't just have guitar elements. But if you don't know how to play other instruments, you're kind of stuck. Ring mod is a great way to make your guitar sound less like a guitar. Non-guitar textures are really important. If it's just a bunch of guitar noodling and playing the root note of the chord with a bass guitar and some basic ass drums, man, that ain't gonna cut it. You need some spice. You need a ring mod. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not your boss. By the way, if you want to know more about ring mod, check out Cyberattack, not the act, the channel. My good buddy Ivan does a really good ring mod video, and he's taught me a lot, not just about ring mods, but about other pedals and how to make cool videos. So check out Cyberattack. Let me know if you yourself have any tips for working with ring mod effects. I had a lot of fun, but I know there's a lot more to it. And this is the part where I shamelessly promote signing up for my Patreon. This gets you early access to videos, behind the scenes, fun stuff. We're already having fun conversations on there, it's great. And thank you to Joshua, the very first Patreon patron. I think that's what you call it. Man, what a badass. Thank you. And like always, do what the sign says, and thanks for watching. Have a great day. Hey, yeah. I'm fun at parties.